It seems Fortnite's going first person and Halo's going third person. Let's talk. What up, viewers? What up? What up, Calc Soups here, and today is technically still October 11th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Big thing coming out this week was Metaphor Re Fantasio, and if you don't know what that name is, this is from the team that brings you the Persona titles. So this isn't the next Persona game, but it is made by the same team that makes Persona games. And because of that, I assume it is a really good game because it is currently at a 93 Metacritic. I hear a lot of really good things about it, and I might actually be picking it up as someone who doesn't normally play Persona games. But the fantasy settings got me a little bit intrigued, considering the usual Persona games take place in more of like a modern era, with the high school students and all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, it's got me pretty interested. It's also the fastest selling. I don't know if the exact title was fastest selling Persona game, considering it's not a Persona game, but it's sold 1 million units in a single day. So brought to you by the same team that brought you Personas, apparently enough to push some units out as well. So yeah, it's got. I know a lot of my friends are talking about it, and I'm very excited to see what comes of it. But a lot of rave reviews, 93 Metacritic. You should probably pick it up. I don't know what else you're playing nowadays. They're looking at Q4. There's not a lot of strong releases unless you're a Dragon Age fan. So this could be a good a fantasy game for you to pick up if you're not into Dragon Age. And maybe even if you are, you should pick this one up. So yeah, let me know if you picked up Metaphor down below in the comments, and I'll love to see what you think. Moving right along, Nintendo has given us the hardware that we've been asking for. Well, they've given us some hardware. They announced this week a new alarm clock. I don't know how this relates to Pokemon Sleep, but there's a new Nintendo officially licensed alarm clock called Alarmo. And for $100, you can get a non-touch alarm that plays Nintendo noises at you. Now, it would be very interesting. Um, I think there's a Zelda one, but it's going to play like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild sounds of you. But considering that Ocarina of Time starts with Navi waking you up in the morning, it's very much a missed opportunity if you don't have Navi going, "Hey, listen to you," until you get up and out, until you get annoyed enough to get up and out of bed. And there's also like a triumph sound whenever you get out of bed, like it plays the coin sound or the star noise when you like get out of bed. And you can have that be the freaking treasure opening noise. Like that'd be amazing. So I am very curious what the Zelda one sounds like. There's like 5 different Nintendo specific IPs that are coming out for it. I know some people are already suggesting like Star Fox as another one. So I'm curious at what other brands will be associated with this. But yeah, and I think a lot of people are just kind of expecting Switch 2. So the fact that we get an alarm clock to hold us over feels a little Nintendo Labo-y. Like this is just like a, hey, what are we doing here? Like they did with the cardboard Nintendo Labo stuff. So, but Nintendo's gonna Nintendo, and I also, one angle that I thought hasn't been brought up very much is this feels like a play towards a younger demographic. Like I don't think adults use alarm clocks very much, but people who do are ages 5 to like 12. So if this is a way to like ingratiate Nintendo parents to pass that down to their younger kids, I definitely think that is kind of what they're going for here. So maybe it isn't made for Nintendo adults; it's actually made for them to buy it for their kids, and their kids can wake up to Pika 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 or something like that. So yeah, that's my take on the Nintendo Alarmo. When will we have Switch 2 details? Moving right along, Halo. There was a blog post this week coming from Halo Studios, formerly 343 is now called Halo Studios, which is very lame. they have their own they had their own identity, and yeah, just the fact that they turned into the Halo studio is kind of the Pokemon company to me. Um, but yeah, there's a couple Halo games coming down the pipe, and I think one of them is like the next Halo game is intended to be, if not fully, partially third person, which is what I was hinting at the beginning of this. Um, and yeah, there's a whole lot that could be done in the Halo universe. I don't know if they're going to continue with like Halo Wars and the RTS portion of it, but I know that 343 is probably working on a, I don't know, sequel to Infinite or doing something else with Master Chief sometime soon. So uh, that's all I know. I think the details are pretty scant, but they're talking about multiple Halo games coming out. So interesting stuff there. It's pretty cool to see that the speedrunning community is basically just a relief fund community. So anytime there is, strife in the world, or people that need money, all of a sudden the speedrunning community comes out of nowhere and like starts to develop a conference and collect money and give all that money to help with the relief fund. So Games Done Quick is the organization behind the speedrunning community, or the events that speedrunning takes place at. And they're starting a Helena relief fund. So that's getting worked out. I don't know when the exact dates are for the Games Done Quick conference, but it's just pretty cool to see that the speedrunning community uh, gets to show off and then also generate money for people in need. So pretty cool to check that out. I'll have a link down below for you to find more details. Following, maybe not following the Steam or the California licensing digital goods thing that I talked about a couple weeks ago. Um, Steam has actually fully gone ahead on that, and now when you purchase a game, I think you will just see like, hey, you're not actually buying a game; you are licensing a version of the game, and like that is what you get. So it is now official on Steam that you are licensing your game and you are not purchasing to own your game. So uh, interesting clarification there, but it made a big deal this week. So I know that they're probably getting ahead of it, and I'm curious what this will do to sales. I bet people selling on Steam probably aren't happy about this, but you know, Gabe don't give a fuck. So so is what it is, and I don't ultimately think that this will affect very many people, because the people who were already concerned about this were already buying games on Steam anyway. So, and they can't, like, it's not like you can go somewhere else to fully purchase it other than going and buying physical, at Best Buy, at GameStop, or on Amazon. But now you will no longer have a purchase button. You'll have a license button at the bottom. Actually, it probably doesn't say that, but when you complete your purchase, it will say you've now unlocked a license for this game. So interesting stuff going on there. Like I said, Fortnite is going first person shooter. The I they've done so much already. They've already taken on the rhythm genre. Lego is in its final form. Racing games. So why not go FPS? They already have control over the battle royale genre. It was actually more of like an Unreal tech test using the Fortnite models, but it was just kind of interesting to see what does Fortnite look like in first person, and that's what we get to see this week. So I don't know if they'll actually make like a Call of Duty game mode, and that'll be a way that other people can play. But it was just kind of interesting to see what does Fortnite look like in first person. After what sounds like a decade since EA, Electronic Arts, broke up with FIFA, they've been putting out, oh god, football league, EA football committee or something like that, EAFC. That was their football game that's been coming out annually for the past decade or so. But FIFA has now found another company to shack up with, and that is Konami. So I think previously Konami was putting out like e-soccer or something like that. I don't remember what their soccer franchise was, but now it will be the new FIFA franchise. So I'm curious how this will like divide the community. I assume that over soccer games that EA has had the lion's share of it now, but will this divide some people off? I'm curious how this will kind of shake out. So interesting stuff going on with FIFA and Konami. I know that I will be purchasing right after this something that I saw this week, a Witcher Kids graphic novel, which makes some sense because Geralt is a very begrudgingly grumpy dad. So we'll have that our own grumpy dads out there, amongst Joel and Kratos. But yeah, I think a kids novel set in the Witcher universe would be pretty interesting to check out. So sounds like something I'll be uh, showing my kid so I can get him into all the nerdy things that I'm into. But yeah, he enjoys those, so I'll be sure to pick up a Witcher for Kids graphic novel. I'll check that out soon. A really cool game that crossed my path this week was called Sunderfolk, and this is a digital board game RPG that you play with your phone and with friends around. I think this is an awesome idea. So it was basically you have like a board game kind of displayed in your, as the central television. And then everyone has their phone out and they're able to like have a character that is participating in this board game, and you're playing cards from your phone as like your what tactics you're taking in like the current battle. And they even have like a town time section for you to like go around and buy stuff or whatever or level up. Um, and yeah, the game sounded really cool. It's coming out next year. I've already wishlisted it. But yeah, as someone who loves Jackbox games, who played through all of As Dusk Falls, I think getting my friends together and like being able to pull out our phone and play whatever game we're playing is an awesome way to like engage with friends and have a cool couch co-op night. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to Sunderfolk. Um, the yeah, I as long as it's not an app, I think that's always the one of the issues is like, is it an app? I know that Jackbox has been around for decades now, and they do it very simply where you can open up a web browser and kind of and jump in and be able to play. So that's the one qualm I have is like, do I have to download an app for this? And I know that turns off a lot of people. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Sunderfolk, and yeah, I both playing board games, but I think it's a lot of fun too to like sit down with it in front of the TV, and we'll all be able to play from our phones while we're working through Sunderfolk the board game. So looking forward to that. Last but not least, someone else is trying to hone in on the Dark Souls with guns genre. Um, the game is called Witchfire. I think I've talked about it before, but we got to see a lot more of what gameplay is going to look like, what our character builds could look like, what the leveling system is. I'm curious if it's Dark Soulsy in that it has an overly complicated multiplayer, or if it's just a single player experience. And yeah, we get to see just like how it seems like it's gonna have kind of very tight first person shooting. So as opposed to like Remnants, a little loosey, and you're more about like what abilities do you have and what your build is. Whereas this seems like it's got very tight gunplay. At least that's what I saw in the video. The 12-minute video I saw kind of breaking it down. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Witchfire. I think I've kept it on my mind for a while, and as Remnant drops more DLCs, I keep wanting to play more and more like Dark Souls with guns with friends. So I hope it's not exclusively single player, as Dark Souls with guns sounds like an experience I want to have with friends. So, um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Witchfire, and I'll have links down below for you to check that out. But that's it for this week. Let me know down below if you feel I forgot anything. But as always, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend, and I hope you have a super day. Bye!